Right, so WWE Tough Enough was a reality competition series that the WWE hosted to find a next wrestler in the company. It aired on MTV originally and then the WWE Network, and I've got to say it may be some of my favourite TV that WWE has ever done. I've watched every single episode of Tough Enough, I love Tough Enough, I think it's a great show, and I do wish that it would come back. And like any other reality competition series or any other wrestling show, of course, this was loaded with its fair share of drama and controversy. And in the 6 seasons that Tough Enough aired for, there was definitely a good amount of drama to go round. And so today I thought I'd go through every season of WWE Tough Enough and discuss the biggest incidents and drama that took place on that show. As we start off with season 1 of Tough Enough As You Like the Video, which was of course won by Maven Huffman, your favourite wrestling YouTuber, as well as Nidia, who were the first ever winners of the show, and I think were pretty decent winners of the show to begin with. Other contestants on the show include Chris Nowinski and Josh Matthews, and in terms of controversy and drama, it wasn't too full of that in this season. It was more or less your typical MTV reality show that you saw for the time. I'd say the most dramatic and biggest incident in this show though has to be the Triple H speech that he gives to the contestants when he was a guest trainer on that one episode. That is just incredible viewing. You got a wife at home, you don't know what she's doing. Dog at home, what's he doing? And then of course who can forget him just absolutely ripping into Goldberg for absolutely no reason whatsoever, or because some guy competing on the show had a poster of him in the bedroom. Like, just hilarious stuff, honestly. But moving on to season 2, there was definitely a lot more controversy and questionable decisions in season 2 of Tough Enough, as the biggest controversy comes at the very end of the show when they broke their own rules by picking 2 female winners, as Linda Miles and Jackie Gator were selected to be the winners, but the entire rules of Tough Enough stated that it's meant to be 1 male winner and 1 female winner, and the result of 2 female winners apparently very much offended members of the male finalists, who obviously claims that this was not what they signed up for. And yeah, Linda and Jackie were not great selections as winners whatsoever. Linda Miles would become Shaniqua, she was just a valet for the Basham brothers and hardly lasted a year. And Jackie Gator, who would have one of the worst Raw matches of all time, a match that is quite literally called that Jackie Gator match. That's what people refer to it as. All the while you have Kenny King, who finished as runner-up, Kenny King being a guy who would go on to become a very big name in Ring of Honor and TNA and the independent scene, and an overall much better choice for a winner. Heck, Matt Morgan made the finalists as well. He was an even better winner as well. Other names on the show that were cut before even making it to the finals include Shad Gaspard, John Morrison, Awesome Kong, even Mr. Kennedy. So yeah, definitely some bad decisions in season 2 of Tough Enough, but season 3 of Tough Enough definitely featured the most dramatic and craziest incident of all time in Tough Enough history, so much so that they couldn't even show it on camera. As season 3 was won by the returning John Morrison and Matt Capitelli, as once again the rules were more or less broken, but another participant who made it to the finals on this show was a woman by the name of Elisa, who had a very dramatic exit from the show that couldn't even be shown on camera. As the October 5th, 2002 issue of the Pro Wrestling Torch newsletter tells the story, Lisa was reportedly removed from the show after what was referred to as a psychotic breakdown. After being left in the house while the other contestants went out to dinner, she began throwing herself against the walls of the house, eventually breaking into the hidden MTV control room and working her way onto the roof. After being talked down by producers, she was committed to a hospital facility to receive psychiatric treatment. Her parents flew in from New Mexico to pick her up, but she physically attacked them, claiming she did not know them. She then escaped custody inside LAX, shutting down a wing of the airport until she was located. Again, she was hospitalized, but she was able to check herself out again shortly after. She then contacted Tough Enough producers, claiming she was ready to return to the show, but the producers informed her that she had been removed from the show due to her actions. As on episode 3 of the show, it was mentioned that Lisa had left the show, but nothing was shown of it. It didn't show her quit or leave the house, it just showed nothing about it really. And apparently following Tough Enough, Lisa would then re-emerge at the OVW training center, claiming that trainer Al Snow and Big John Gabarick had sent her there for additional training. And it was only until WWE called to ask for evaluations of their stars when they brought up Lisa's name that they told her they had had not sent her down there and had her reported to authorities. And apparently at a series of shows in California in September 2002, just before Tough Enough Season 3 came to air, she managed to talk her way backstage and was even allowed to assist with the pyrotechnics for the wrestlers' entrances at a TV taping. She was apparently extremely convincing, claiming to be Al Snow's personal assistant, and one source even claimed that she had a face-to-face conversation with Vince McMahon, who was apparently unaware of who she was and her status with Tough Enough, before eventually her photo was given to security and she was barred from any backstage areas. If any of this is true, how on earth did any of this happen? That is just insane. So yeah, that drama and controversy there definitely tops any other incidents in Tough Enough history so far, but what about a Tough Enough incident that actually happened on camera that the entire world could see? Well, we would luckily get one of those in the $1 Million Tough Enough with, of course, the Daniel Puder incident. It's an incident that has been talked about to death on wrestling YouTube. Daniel Puder was a former MMA fighter who entered WWE Tough Enough, the $1 Million version, as one of the challenges would see the contestants having wrestling shoot fights with Kurt Angle, kind of half weird shoot and worked fights, with Daniel Puder ending up coming out on top against Kurt Angle and nearly breaking his damn arm before the referee had to force a 3 count to help save Kurt Angle's arm. It was a moment that got him lots of heat within the WWE locker room, and when he went on to win Tough Enough, he had a lot of enemies waiting for him in the back. And of course, we'd get that moment at the Royal Rumble where he was just absolutely bullied by all the locker room leaders who just slapped the living shit out of him. And that was all for what he did to Kurt Angle, as it was seen as disrespectful, and WWE were definitely not expecting that to happen with Daniel Puder. Another controversy with this show was the terms of the winnings itself. Of course, it was called the $1 Million Tough Enough, and so when Daniel Puder won, you'd expect he was given $1 million, but no. He was actually given a 4-year, $250,000 a year contract, and of course, he was only released after a year or two, so he hardly even got half of it. And yeah, this is kind of where we enter the era of where winning Tough Enough just absolutely doesn't matter whatsoever, and Tough Enough Season 5 is definitely the best encapsulation of that. It was won by Big Andy Levine, Silent Rage, who didn't make a single appearance on WWE main roster TV other than to be announced as the winner, before he was sent down to FCW and released within a year. And just to make things worse, the elimination choices were even worse, as Matt Cross was put on the chopping block second on this show. Matt Cross, without a doubt, being the most experienced wrestler on that entire show, with over a decade of experience up until that point as M-Dog 20, one of the top stars of the independent scene, and they cut him on episode 2. And who could forget the very first cut and very first elimination of the show, as Ariane Andre, otherwise known as Cameron, was the first person eliminated from the show after telling Stone Cold Steve Austin that her favorite WWE match of all time is Melina versus Alicia Fox. And ironically enough, Ariane Andrew, aka Cameron, was the only person to make it to the WWE main roster out of this entire cast. So yeah, a bit of a disaster class there when it came to choosing the winners, but Season 6 was the most recent season of Tough Enough, coming out in 2015, the first and only Tough Enough on the WWE Network. This series was won by Josh and Sarah Lee and featured some very famous contestants on the show like Chelsea Green, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Patrick Clark, aka Velveteen Dream, who was an early favourite on the show, and on this show had some crazy drama with fellow contestant Tanner, who was an MMA fighter on this show and also had beef with Patrick due to the fact that he didn't know anything about wrestling, and Patrick felt like he didn't belong there and didn't care about the business and was just there for a check. They would often go head to head and win challenges back and forth, and there was even a promo challenge where the two of them would cut a promo on each other, and Patrick just absolutely destroyed Tanner and just buried him, saying he knows nothing about the business and doesn't give a damn about it and is only here for the money. He absolutely cooks him, but Patrick is of course shockingly eliminated just a couple of weeks later after a fan vote. It was probably the most shocking elimination of the entire show. And elsewhere on the show, some other controversies include Hulk Hogan having to be removed as a judge quietly due to the Gawker transcripts being leaked, and the winner of the show, Josh, or the Yeti, got into some trouble when he called the social outcasts the social jobbers on Twitter, which led to him getting completely flamed by the WWE roster. And yeah, I think that just about wraps up all the craziest incidents, controversies, and drama to come out of my favorite WWE reality TV show, Tough Enough. Leave a like on this video if you did enjoy, comment down below what your favorite episode or moment from Tough Enough is and what you think is the craziest controversy of WWE Tough Enough that I may have even missed. Subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a video on the channel. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye and keep on rolling.